Welcome all you Pisceans, welcome for your yearly horoscope of 2015. And what kind of year will 2015 be? Let's have a look. I'm going to have a look at the outer planets. So, and also there's an eclipse in your sign. So for some Pisceans, it will be a very, very important year. I'll start with that actually. For those who have a birthday around the 19th, my sister's birthday is on the 19th, so she will have a very interesting year. And so the very late Pisceans, so around the 18th, 19th, 20th of March, those who have a birthday will have a solar eclipse in your sign, which means it means that on your you're gonna have that, particularly on the 19th actually. Is it the 19th? No, the 20th. The 20th. So that means a new moon in your sign, which always shows a very important year. There are endings and new beginnings. There is a new cycle on the spiral. You're going up a level. So but that's just for a couple of Pisceans amongst you. Let's have a look at what is mostly important. Well, it's your ruler, Jupiter, and it's also Neptune, I think, are still the most important things that are going on. And I'll start with them. So Jupiter has been, like last year, in your 6th house and will be in your 6th house still in 2015 up until August. And then it shifts into your 7th house, the house of relationships. So Jupiter is a planet of expansion and of you finding positive meaning when it has to do with that particular area of life. And the 6th house is this house of your day-to-day life, your day-to-day habits, your day-to-day routines, your health. So and also your day-to-day work for some of you. So and this, I mentioned that last year, that it was so interesting for Pisceans because Pisceans who are normally not very keen on doing those day-to-day boring things, like having to cook every day, or maybe, I know most female Pisceans like to cook, but not the male Pisceans that I know. I don't know. Give me some comments below if that's true. But you know, the day-to-day things, maybe administration, doing your administration, doing those things that you need to repeat, is not really what Pisceans are keen at. But now they've learned, and you're still learning that around the first half of the year, that it can bring you a lot of, or it can solve a lot of problems. The 6th house is the house of the problems. It's the house of solving problems. When you have Jupiter there, that's why it's good for health, and that's why it's good for attacking problems. And with problems, it could simply mean that you need to have a better routine. You need to have a bit more discipline when it comes to your daily routine, when it comes to health as well. So so this is really, really good, and that will continue for a large part of the year. Then in August, Jupiter shifts into your 7th house, which is great, which means expansion when it comes to relationships. Even when you are in or not in a relationship, it doesn't really matter, but it means that the people that you are going to meet and the people that you are going to connect with, or it can be a lot of people, because Jupiter often means a lot where it is transiting, but it can also mean Jupiterian people. What is that? It means positive people, flamboyant people, positive people, people who support you, people who have positive vibes. And you know how important that is for a Piscean to be amongst positive people. So you will attract that in your life. When you are single, there is a possibility of meeting someone, even more than one actually. I've seen that quite a lot. Again, because Jupiter means expansion. When you are in a relationship, that's very, very bad, and that's not easy going, and that is very difficult, and you want to end it for years and years and years. And but you didn't have the courage to do so. Jupiter in the 7th might. I've seen that as well. Divorces with Jupiter in the 7th. I know a lot of astrologers will say, what? But I've seen that. And the thing is that it gives you, you know, you've got those people who have a divorce and who say, there's an uplift and things are going okay, and there is a good deal when there are children involved and all of that. So that can be the case as well. If you are in a relationship, it can mean that it gives you more meaning. It gives you more, that person becomes even more important, and therefore there can come in expansion into, so people who marry as well with Jupiter in the 7th, or having a child, which they won't see as restrictive, or so it's not Saturn there, so they won't see it as a restriction, they won't see it as something commitment, no, they will see it as expansive. So quite positive energy going your way when it comes to people, one-to-one. If you work with clients, the same, positive clients coming your way. And of course, if it is your sun sign, it also relates to your work, so there is some expansion going on when it comes to your work. But be aware that Neptune is in your sign as well. So there's going to be in September an opposition between Jupiter and Neptune around 7, 8, 9 degrees. So if you are born around 7, 8, 9 degrees, so that would be that will be around the 26th of February, the 27th, the 28th of February, so the last days of February, maybe the beginning of March. You will have Neptune there on your sun, and you will have Jupiter opposing it, which shows stay with the feet on the ground. Stay with the feet on the ground, because if people are, if you have you're prone to overreaching it a little bit, but only those people who I just mentioned, because Neptune is broadening your perspective and Jupiter is broadening your perspective, so that's a bit a lot, and you are Jupiter ruled, so you are already a person who sees the bigger picture. So stay with the feet on the ground. That's, I think, why Jupiter in your 6th house during the first part is so important. It's to ground you, it's to come into your body and do your, let your body work, so you are less somewhere else. What else? Then we have Saturn. Saturn will shift into Sagittarius at the end of December 2014, and it will be in the top of your chart. This is also very important. So whilst on a level of yourself versus the other person there is expansion going on, there is crystallization going on when it comes to your work, when it comes to your career. So a lot of Pisceans will have more responsibility than ever and feeling that. So maybe getting more responsibility, or maybe if they do 10 things, they're maybe going to reduce that to 2 things. So it's narrowing of the focus when it comes to your work. It's also, wherever Saturn is, it means also hard work that you will be doing. So you will become very realistic when it comes to work, and so that is good. So there you will be at your most grounded when it comes to your work. So not so much relationships or when it comes to you as a person, but when it comes to your grounding, it's all in what you do with your work. So working hard and being persistent, but focusing on just 1 or 2 things will be better for you than your energy that is all over the place. So that's quite, with Pisceans, they are Jupiterian ruled, and sometimes it's difficult for them to focus. So, but it won't be difficult for you during 2015, because you've got Saturn there focusing when it comes to work. What else? I mentioned Jupiter, Saturn, Neptune, now Pluto and Uranus. Uranus and Pluto, you're not really the sign that is feeling the square of the Pluto and the Uranus square. It's still, so I'm not going to talk about that for you. But Pluto is sextiling your sign. So for those who have planets around 11 up until 15 degrees, you know, you've got planets there in Pisces, whether it is a Sun or a Mars or a Venus or whatever, Pluto is sextiling it. So it shows that a lot of Pisceans are transforming in a very positive and rather easy way. It's still transforming, it's still going through something that changes them and that they become something totally different. So a lot of you will maybe shift, whatever that planet is. If it's your sun sign, it can be work, it can be your destiny, and so on. So a lot of you are transforming, and a lot of you are becoming more powerful. Pluto is a planet of power. So when it's aspecting your male planets like the Sun and Mars, it's giving you power, persistent, and giving you courage, doing the thing, even if you are scared of doing it. It's giving you that strength. And when it's your female planets, it means that you are going through intensity with your emotions or your feelings, but that brings you, that elevates you and brings you into a person that is potentially more stable. So that's Pluto and Uranus. I mentioned the solar eclipse and then the Mercury retrogrades. That will be in air signs, but that's not your ruler. And then Venus. The last thing I want to say is Venus is going retrograde around July and September, and it comes into your 7th house at 0 degrees of Virgo, and then it goes back into your 6th house. So July, September, for those who are single, it's really interesting because Venus comes into that 7th house. Venus is love, and Venus is a nice people crossing your way, let's put it that way. And so there is opportunities when you are single, but also if you are in a relationship, nice people crossing your path. But then there is something that it goes back into the 6th house, which can mean that, especially when you are single, it can simply mean that you meet someone and then there is a bit of time between that you still want to ground yourself, you still want to do your day-to-day routines, and then Venus in September goes back into your 7th house, and that means a good time for you, September. Very expansive when it comes to your connections, and Pisces do want to connect. It's the sign of unity, and it's the sign of seeing that there is this unity going on. But with Saturn there in the 10th house, people will see you as being very, very grounded as well. So thank you very much for listening, you Pisces. I wish you a very good year. Have a good year, and see you next time. Bye bye.